Even though most would say the economy here in the US is making a slow but sure recovery, there is still a demand for small, fuel-efficient, and very affordable vehicles. In this part of the automotive sales market, it's not all about style or performance. Most of the time, bragging rights go to those cars with the lowest price. Right now, Nissan's Versa Sedan is the cheapest car you can buy in America at less than $12,000 to start. The question is, do you simply get what you pay for? If you're looking for something that tells the outside world you spent a lot of money, this is not the car for you. For example, our SV Tester has a small trunk lip spoiler that came with plastic wheel covers on steel wheels with small skinny tires. There are chrome door handles and a large chrome grille that's similar to the one on the Versa's big brother, the Altima, but no fog lights, and a sunroof isn't available on any trim. Exterior styling is conservative and utilitarian, but the upright stance and large glass area make it look like a larger car. And in fact, the Versa provides a generous amount of space for cargo and people. So the Nissan Versa has a pretty huge trunk for such a small car, and I'm anxious to see how many globes I can fit in here. So 2 go all the way in the back, no problem, and I'll bet you I can get 3 across here. So let's see, got this other one here. And right there, it swallows 5 globes with no problem. There's even a little bit of extra space. However, there are these gooseneck hinges, so let's see what happens. And they do hit, so keep that in mind when you're loading this up with luggage, but still, pretty large trunk. By the numbers, 5 globes and 15 cubic feet, the trunk is just average compared to others in the class. But numbers aren't everything. The opening is nice and wide, and the compartment itself is pretty tall. The split fold-down rear seats create a large pass-through, although they don't fold flat and level with the trunk floor. Below that trunk floor is an ample amount of space for a spare tire and tools, or even hiding valuables. So in addition to this really huge trunk, the Versa has a huge back seat. And there's a nice wide opening door. You do have to duck under the roof, but once you're in here, there's an abundance of headroom. There's plenty of legroom, and this front seat is all the way back in its tracks. I even have a couple inches under the front seat for my feet to rest. Now, the other important thing is this cushion is pretty high, so my thighs are nicely supported. And a lot of times in small cars, your feet, your legs end up like this and very uncomfortable. Here, I have good support, good space. Slide the front seats forward to where most people will put them, and space is seemingly endless. Conveniently placed cup holders are nice, but more storage would be welcome, with only one front seat pocket and no storage on the door panels. A fold-down armrest and power outlet would also be great additions. At least the generous glass area provides an easy view out, further adding to the spacious feeling. The same goes for the front seat, where a large opening leads to a generous amount of space. The steering wheel tilts, but unfortunately doesn't telescope, and while the seat had a good amount of height adjustment, it didn't go down far enough for my liking. So once you have everything adjusted the way you want it, the one thing I noticed that is a little bit weird is that this armrest, which is pretty hard, is not at the same height as this one. So when you put this one down, this one's higher up than this one, and when you're sitting here driving like this, it's just sort of, it's unusual. You wouldn't sit in an armchair that way, and it's not comfortable in this car either. Now meanwhile, I get an armrest, but my passenger has no armrest. There's also no center armrest here and no center storage console. Instead, all you get is this hard plastic and a couple of cup holders, which is nice, but it would be better if there was a proper armrest here. Of course, let's keep in mind that even these little extras add up when building such a budget-conscious car. So the extra large glove compartment kind of makes up for the lack of center storage, easily swallowing this 10-inch tall water bottle, and there are decently sized map pockets in the front doors, along with 2 more cup holders for a total of 6. Ergonomics are also right on the money, with very easy to use and reach HVAC controls and a sound system mounted nice and high, which will especially be useful on models with a navigation system. The only quirk is that the fuel door release and hood release are right next to each other in the footwell, below your line of sight, and they feel exactly the same. More than once did I unlatch the hood by mistake. The white LED instruments are clear and stylish, but overall materials quality and design of the dashboard and door panels feel like a step backwards when compared to the more rectilinear lines and softer padding of the previous generation. But all the hard plastics will at least survive years of abuse and are easy to wipe clean. Probably my biggest gripe are these round HVAC vents, one of which was already broken on our test car. Visibility out the front and sides is excellent. Even in back, it's not much of a challenge aside from the slightly large roof pillars and headrests that get in your way a little, just as in every other car. Motivating all Versas is a free revving 1.6-liter inline four-cylinder producing 109 horsepower and 107 pound-feet of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels by either a 5-speed manual or antiquated 4-speed automatic on the least expensive models, but most cars will come with a CVT, like our tester. So the Nissan Versa has a CVT, a continuously variable transmission. What that means is that there's no gears, and as I'm accelerating here, you can see the revs just build as speed increases, but there's no gear change. And Nissan has done a pretty good job of making it pretty smooth. It doesn't drone too much, and the acceleration is pretty good, even though this is not a really powerful engine. But make no mistake, after lots of highway driving, you start to notice that the engine is a bit loud and coarse, and a fair amount of road noise doesn't help either. That's a shame because the highway ride is quite good. Steering is pretty quick, but steering feel is unnecessarily light, even at lower speeds. Braking from the standard front disc rear drum setup is just average. Fuel economy ratings are near the top of their class at 31 city, 40 highway for cars with a CVT. Deduct 4 miles per gallon each for the 5-speed manual, and don't even worry about the 4-speed automatic. On the safety front, all Versas come standard with front, side, and side curtain airbags, yet it only receives 4 stars overall from the government, although it receives all good ratings from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, except in their new small overlap test, where it did poorly. The Versa sedan starts at just under $12,000 US. Mid-range SV models like our tester start out around $14,500. And for around $18,000, a fully equipped SL with navigation and alloy wheels is still a decent buy, especially with Nissan's history of attractive financing offers. There's also a 5-door hatchback version available called the Versa Note with slightly different exterior styling and a significantly higher starting price. For this amount of money, shoppers can get themselves into very nice used cars, but if they don't want to go that route, they should definitely check out the Hyundai Accent, which is better in nearly every objective measure, and has a nicer interior with a few more features, although it has a higher starting price. There's also the hatchback-only Honda Fit, which will be all new for 2015 and promises to have better crash test scores. So, are you simply getting what you pay for with the Versa sedan? Yes. In the 90s and early 2000s, this is what economy cars were like. You could have some nice features for not much more money, but overall what you were getting was unpretentious, honest, A to B transportation. For some, that's all that matters, and many people like the security and pride of ownership that comes with having a brand new car. As always, the best thing to do is get out and try at least 2 or 3 more vehicles and get pricing for them before making your choice. Plus, shopping online simply won't tell you how comfortable a seat is or how secure you feel driving the car on your local roads. And please subscribe to our channel to see videos for cars in the Nissan Versa's price range. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching.